Talking about a lot of issues that face the city of Montreal and some of the challenges faced by businesses and students and cultural institutions. But what about social challenges? As with any city, homelessness is a growing problem, especially in the downtown borough of Ville-Marie. Diana Pizzuti is the YWCA Director of Residential Services, and she joins us. Hello, Diana. And Fadi Darrière is the Chief Inspector with the Montreal Police. Good afternoon, Fadi. And Francine Côté is the Chief Program Administrator at the Centre de Santé des Services Sociaux, CSSS, for downtown. Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'd like to start with you, Fadi. From your perspective, how big of a problem is homelessness in Montreal?
Well, we have a lot of issue with the homeless, but actually more and more what's happening in Montreal, we are looking into more the health problem, mental health problems. And the issue of the homeless, I'm going to let my partner talk about it, but we are looking more in the whole Montreal, what we're facing in the health, mental problems. It's all over, it can happen on the street, it can happen inside the houses. So that's why we put up a few months ago, 6-7 months ago, the new project called ESUP, which is a partnership between police officer and a human relation person sitting in the same car, patrol car, and going to intervene on 911 calls on any mental problems, including the homeless.
Before I get to you, Francine, I'd like to know from your perspective, Diana, you direct residential services for the YWCA. Are there, what challenges are there specifically that face women who face homelessness?
I think first of all, we deal specifically with women, and women's homelessness is much different than that of men's. It's much more hidden.
What do you mean hidden? It's much more hidden.
Because women, you don't usually see them on the street as much as you would a man. Women are usually bunking up with men that they don't know so well. They're staying with family, going from shelter to shelter, being hospitalized. So you've got institutional homelessness, you've got organizational homelessness, and you've got the hidden kind, and you've got the visible ones, the few ones that are on the streets. So.
And from your point of view, are mental health issues a big factor in the homelessness of women?
I think it is one of the factors, but the predominant factor is actually violence. And in 80% of cases, violence is an issue. And the YWCA programs address those issues. So we have violence prevention programs, and we have leadership skill programs, and we have social reintegration programs to help women develop life skills, employability, orientation, literacy. These are all factors that make women more fragile and vulnerable to homelessness.
Francine, I want to bring you into this because Fadi mentioned this program that has police officers really intervening directly with the people who are on the street with mental health issues. Can you tell us a little bit about how that works?
Well, it's a pilot project that started in June, and we have a agent relation psychosocial intervener that will sit in the car with the policeman, and they'll get the 911 calls, and we'll go and estimate the situation. It's issued that we go and on calls that have vulnerable people in crisis and mental health crisis.
And presumably the officers are given special training to deal with these kinds of issues? Because, of course, Fadi, we had that very well publicized problem earlier in the year, the shooting. What do you hear from your officers about how challenging it is day to day to deal with homelessness on the streets?
Actually, it's very challenging because we don't have that kind of training. More and more the police officers are having been trained, not on the theory side, but more on the simulation. So as the police officer, we learn much more by experience. So 50% of our police officers are being trained. Another 50% is going to be trained in 2013. And I think more and more they're getting more tools. They're getting more comfortable with this project, with the new project that we put up with the C3S. We're going to get further and further and deeper on the problem.
Diana, what would you like to see more from the police? Is this kind of a program something that you support?
I think absolutely. I think in the last few years, the police have been making a lot of efforts to improve their way of intervening and their skills and their expertise. They are police officers, they're not interveners. And I think in terms of homelessness, you need a collective approach to, to respond to that problem. As for housing, we need more affordable housing. That's the reality. There is no affordable housing.
I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it at that. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We have been talking to Diana Pizzuti. She's the YWCA Director of Residential Service. Fadi Daguerre is the Chief Inspector of the Montreal Police. And Francine Côté is responsible for this pilot project called USAP at the CSSS.